as far as you facilitating,
Yeah.
um, and just looking at like my own meditations and um, how they've evolved in working with you, and so I'm like, and I'm wondering how like the facilitation plays in with this. I think the wording there is wrong, but
Right. We run into that a lot.
but so like when I meditate with you, it's always like, when I used to meditate, I would have visions and see stuff and, whirly twirls and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And now there may be something in the beginning, but it very quickly goes into a place where where there's like a kind of like a void, right?
Mm.
And then there's like a part of me that definitely feels like it's gone. But at the same time, it's like there's something that's still there and aware. Like even like when we do our intensives, it's like normally we end with the same song, right? But when we do our intensives, we weren't ending with the same song. But I literally would like towards the end come to and be like, this is the last song. Like
Mm.
I knew that. And then that would be the last song. It was like I would come out just at that point. So now in saying what you're doing in the facilitation, do you think that what's happening with us is that we basically, I feel like we kind of pull out so that we can have this clearing, cleaning, work done, everything, and so that mind's not there. It's not at play at all. So that we have I feel like so that we're like a clear path to get done what needs to be done.
Hmm.
Yeah?
What
Or
more could you ask for? A clear path. It's a beautiful thing. I've never thought of it kind of the way you're asking the question. I've never really put any personal thought on it. It just kind of is what it is.
mm,
Um, I mean, what you have experienced in your meditations is a very natural progression. That's exactly what I would expect to hear from you.
okay.
And there's a good reason to get. And this is it. I don't know that this is going to answer your question at all, but I can at least address it from this space, which is a good teachable moment. That too many seekers get too attached to the phenomenon that
Mm,
happens during meditation. So, is it possible for you to be in meditation and to see colors? Absolutely. Is it possible to go into meditation and to have inner visions? Absolutely. Is it possible to go into meditation and have zero? Nothing. Absolutely. The problem is that when you start doing your work and you go and you spend more and more time in meditation, it goes deeper, deeper. You will have experiences. It doesn't mean you have to. And the danger for those who do is they get attached to the experience.
mm,
Because they come out and they're like, oh my God, they're like, that was so amazing. That was so cool. And, and it felt so good. And then they're stuck thinking that that's their benchmark and they have to constantly, come back to that space. And that is so not true. Anything that you're experiencing visually or through any of the senses, okay, through any of the senses, when you're in meditation is not real. Okay? Because the senses are part of this paradigm. So if it's transient, that's not eternal. If it's
mm.
something that's being created and then it disappears, that's not eternal. So I'm going to let you sit with the fact that where you're at in meditation now, there's not a whole lot happening. I'll let you take a look at that, and I'll let you look at that. I'm not going to say anything to it. because that's for you to look at. But there's a good reason for it. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't have experience where, you know, things will happen again. I mean, it doesn't mean any of that. So like the whole thing is that you as seeker have got to learn to drop your expectation. And I mean around everything, not just meditation, everything in your life. Drop your expectation. It does not serve you. It enslaves you. It enslaves you. Any need you have is enslaving you and holding you here. So drop it. And if you're in meditation and nothing seems to be happening, who cares? How can you know what's happening or not happening? You think you're the judge of what's actually happening in meditation? I don't think so. So the point is to go in with intention, to just be clear and to allow spirit to do what it needs to do, right? With the form, with consciousness, with all of it, and just surrender to the process, and then leave it at that, you know, enjoy it, just, and leave it at that. Oh, that was interesting. That was a different one. You know, like, okay, great. That was really fun. Super. Doesn't mean it always has to be fun. No. Can it sometimes be painful? Yeah. Sometimes it can. But that serves its purpose too, right? So got to be careful with that. Really careful.
Yeah. Yeah, I know in the beginning it used to bother me, like when I wasn't having
the
visions and stuff.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it's like, you know, I know something's happening, whether I'm aware of it or not, you know.
Yeah, and I would hazard a guess that if I asked you, if you look back at meditations where you had a lot going on visually, and if you look at the meditations you have now, and if I was to ask you which one feels deeper, you would say the ones you have now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And with good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. 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 Okay.